What if a planet like Venus or Neptune appeared in the Moon's place? The skies would be stunning, but the consequences could be catastrophic. Here's what would happen. Every night, we glance up at the Moon, a silent companion that's always been there, pulling our tides, lighting our nights, and anchoring our planet's delicate balance. But what if the Moon were suddenly gone, and in its place, something far more massive, far more alien? Imagine looking up and seeing Neptune, a world so colossal its storms could swallow Earth whole, filling the sky. Would it be awe-inspiring or absolutely terrifying? The Moon is more than just a pretty face in our night sky. It's a cosmic caretaker, stabilizing Earth's tilt and seasons, driving ocean tides, and even playing a role in life's evolution. But let's say, for a moment, we tamper with this delicate setup. Instead of the Moon, imagine we replace it with a planet. Mars, Venus, Neptune, each with unique characteristics, each rewriting Earth's cosmic script. What happens next? How would this new planetary neighbor reshape our tides, our skies, and, ultimately, our lives? Picture this. One morning, the Moon vanishes, and humanity wakes to an entirely new sky. Cities come to a standstill as people flood the streets, phones in hand, trying to capture the unearthly sight. Social media erupts with shock and wonder. Some stand in awe of the change, while others spiral into panic. What does this mean for life on Earth? Is this a cosmic miracle, or the beginning of a catastrophe? Our Moon isn't just a backdrop to Earth's story, it's a main character. Replacing it with a planet isn't just a visual change, it's a fundamental rewrite of Earth's rules. The gravitational pull would shift, tides could swell to unimaginable heights or disappear entirely, and Earth's orbit might teeter toward chaos. How long could humanity survive in a world where even the sky refuses to follow the rules we've always known? So, let's begin with the candidates. If Mars, Venus, or Neptune were to replace the Moon, what would they bring to the table? And what would they take away? If Mars were to replace the Moon, our cosmic dance partner would look very different. Slightly smaller in size and less massive than Earth. Mars would appear in our sky as a striking reddish sphere, its surface marked by vast canyons and towering volcanoes. But how would this new neighbor affect life on Earth? Think of Mars as a new partner in a delicate dance, less graceful than the Moon, but still moving to the same rhythm. Could Earth adjust to its steps, or would the entire performance fall apart? Mars's lower mass compared to the Moon would weaken its gravitational pull on Earth. This means tides, which rely heavily on the Moon's influence, would shrink significantly. Coastal areas accustomed to dramatic high and low tides would see a calmer rhythm in the oceans. At first, this might seem like a positive change. Reduced tidal extremes could mean less flooding in vulnerable areas. But tides also play a critical role in mixing ocean waters and driving nutrient cycles. A quieter tide could spell trouble for marine ecosystems that depend on these currents for survival. Now, consider Mars's thin atmosphere and dusty surface. With its newfound proximity to Earth, fragments of Martian rock could occasionally break free from its surface due to gravitational interactions. These fragments, accelerated by Earth's pull, might become fiery meteors streaking through our atmosphere, or worse, impact events capable of causing localized damage. Imagine the scientific frenzy as pieces of Mars rain down, giving us an unprecedented look at the red planet, while also posing risks to life on Earth. Beyond the physical effects, Mars's presence would also alter Earth's orbital stability. While its smaller mass might not disrupt Earth's path as violently as a larger planet could, subtle shifts could still accumulate over time. seasons might become slightly less predictable, and the tilt of Earth's axis could wobble more than it does today. Over centuries, these changes could ripple through our climate, ecosystems, and even human life. Replacing the Moon with Mars would undoubtedly transform Earth's story, introducing new rhythms and challenges to the dance of our solar system. But if Mars seems manageable, what about its fiery sister, Venus? Let's find out. Imagine replacing our serene, silvery moon with Venus, the brightest natural object in the sky after the sun and moon. With its toxic atmosphere and intense volcanic activity, Venus is often called Earth's evil twin. Now, picture this fiery neighbor looming overhead, dominating the night with its radiant light. Would Venus as a moon turn our nights into days, and our planet into an oven? Venus's unparalleled brightness would transform the night sky. Its thick clouds of sulfuric acid reflect nearly 70% of the sunlight that hits them, making Venus shine brilliantly even from its current position. As Earth's new moon, it would appear as a glowing orb, casting a twilight-like glow over the planet every night. Stars would fade into obscurity, their twinkle no match for the glare of Venus. For astronomers, nighttime observations of the universe would become nearly impossible. For the rest of us, the comforting darkness of night might vanish forever. But Venus's proximity wouldn't just brighten our nights, it could also affect Earth's temperatures. Venus is infamous for its runaway greenhouse effect, with surface temperatures exceeding 900 degrees Fahrenheit. While it wouldn't directly heat Earth, its proximity could subtly alter our climate. The gravitational interaction between Earth and Venus might stir up Earth's atmosphere and oceans, disrupting weather patterns. Over time, even slight changes to global temperatures could have profound consequences for ecosystems and human life. And then there's the psychological impact. Looking up at a fiery, toxic world every night would be a stark reminder of Earth's fragility. Venus, with its swirling yellow clouds and deadly conditions, is a cautionary tale of what can happen when a planet's atmosphere spirals out of control. It would dominate our cultural imagination, shaping myths, art, and fears in ways the tranquil moon never did. Replacing the moon with Venus would not just alter our nights, but challenge life on Earth as we know it. Yet, even Venus pales in comparison to the chaos another candidate might bring. What if Neptune, an icy giant, took the moon's place? Let's explore. Now imagine looking up and seeing Neptune, a gas giant almost 4 times the size of Earth, looming in the sky. Its swirling storms, including the Great Dark Spot, would be clearly visible, like a turbulent watercolor painting stretched across the heavens. The planet's icy blue hues would dominate our nights, mesmerizing and terrifying in equal measure. But beneath this celestial beauty lies a critical question. Would our world survive the constant gravitational tug-of-war with such a massive neighbor? Neptune's colossal mass, 17 times that of Earth, would unleash gravitational forces far beyond anything the moon ever exerted. Tides, once a gentle ebb and flow, would become catastrophic surges. Coastal cities would face unrelenting flooding as ocean waters rose to meet the pull of this giant. But the chaos wouldn't stop at the shores. Neptune's gravitational influence would extend deep into Earth's crust, increasing tectonic activity. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions could become a daily occurrence, reshaping continents and endangering life on an unprecedented scale. And then there's the effect on Earth's orbit. The moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, keeping our seasons predictable. Neptune's overwhelming presence could destabilize this balance. Earth might begin to wobble chaotically, triggering extreme shifts in climate. Imagine summers that scorch, the planet followed by winters cold enough to freeze oceans. The very foundations of life would be tested in this new, unstable world. But what about Neptune's gaseous nature? While its physical composition wouldn't directly interact with Earth, its massive size might draw in space debris from the far reaches of the solar system. A heightened bombardment of meteors and comets could turn Earth's skies into a fiery battleground, further amplifying the sense of danger. For all its beauty, Neptune would be a catastrophic partner in our celestial dance. Its storms, visible from Earth, would serve as a constant reminder of its volatile power. Our planet would face a relentless struggle against tidal forces, tectonic upheaval, and climatic chaos. As stunning as Neptune might be in our sky, life on Earth would pay an unimaginable price for its arrival. But what does all this tell us about the Moon's true role in Earth's story? Let's step back and reflect. Tides are the heartbeat of Earth's oceans, driven by the gravitational pull of the Moon. Replace the Moon with any other celestial body, and that rhythm transforms, sometimes subtly, sometimes catastrophically. Imagine pulling on a slingshot. Each planet would stretch Earth's oceans differently. But what happens when the stretch goes too far? Let's start with Mars. Its smaller mass compared to the Moon would weaken tidal forces, causing tides to shrink. This might seem harmless at first, but the quieter tides would disrupt the delicate mixing of ocean waters. Without strong currents, nutrients critical for marine ecosystems would no longer circulate as effectively. Fisheries could collapse, and the ripple effects would cascade up the food chain, ultimately impacting human communities that rely on the sea for survival. Now, consider Venus. Although similar in size to Earth, Venus's mass is far greater than the Moon's. Its gravitational pull would create massive tidal surges, flooding coastal cities with terrifying regularity. The relentless rise and fall of ocean waters could erode coastlines and displace millions of people. Ecosystems in estuaries and wetlands, crucial habitats for countless species, would be swept away by these extreme tides. And the added gravitational force wouldn't just affect the oceans. It could intensify weather patterns, fueling stronger hurricanes and storms. Then there's Neptune, the true tidal juggernaut. Its immense mass would pull Earth's oceans to unimaginable heights. Coastal regions wouldn't just face flooding, they'd be submerged entirely. Inland areas once thought safe from tidal forces could experience bizarre and destructive surges, creating a chaotic and unpredictable world. Marine life, unable to adapt to such extreme fluctuations, would suffer devastating losses, while humans would scramble to survive in a drastically altered environment. And the consequences don't end there. The Moon's influence doesn't just move water, it also helps regulate Earth's rotation. Replacing the Moon with a more massive planet could accelerate Earth's tidal braking, slowing its rotation faster than usual. Days would lengthen over time, altering the natural rhythms of life. Venus or Neptune might even lock Earth tidally, where one side of our planet constantly faces the sun. Imagine a world with perpetual daylight on one side and endless night on the other, a complete upheaval of our way of life. Replacing the Moon with any planet would set Earth's tides into chaos, transforming not just our oceans, but the ecosystems, climates, and human societies they support. It's a stark reminder of the Moon's quiet, yet profound role in keeping our world in balance. But let's take one final step back and reflect on what this experiment teaches us about the fragility of Earth's cosmic neighborhood. Earth's axis, tilted at a gentle 23.5 degrees, is the reason we experience seasons. This tilt, moderated, by the Moon has remained relatively stable over millions of years, creating a climate that allows life to flourish. But what happens when we replace the Moon with a planet? The invisible impacts on Earth's axis and climate could turn our seasons from familiar rhythms into chaotic extremes. Imagine replacing the Moon with Mars. With less mass and gravitational pull than the Moon, Mars would fail to stabilize Earth's axis as effectively. Over time, Earth's tilt could wobble unpredictably, swinging between extremes. In one era, the poles might tip closer to the Sun, melting ice caps and flooding coastlines. In another, the equator could become unbearably cold, disrupting weather, systems and ecosystems alike. Seasons would become erratic, making it nearly impossible for crops, wildlife, and human societies to adapt. What about Venus? Its greater mass might initially help stabilize Earth's axis, but its gravitational influence would likely overcorrect, locking Earth into an exaggerated tilt. A steeper tilt would mean summers that scorch entire continents and winters that freeze oceans. In this scenario, even regions near the equator, usually stable year-round, could face seasonal extremes. Agriculture would collapse in many parts of the world, as growing seasons would no longer align with predictable patterns, and Neptune, the Icy Giant, would bring chaos on a massive scale. Its immense gravity could destabilize Earth's orbit entirely, leading to wild axial shifts over millennia. With Neptune as our moon, the planet's tilt might eventually swing so dramatically that entire regions would shift between tropical and polar climates. Imagine New York City experiencing monsoons one century and glaciers the next. This kind of unpredictability would render long-term survival strategies nearly impossible for humans and most species. But here's the surprising twist. While most planets would destabilize Earth's axis, some could theoretically provide better stabilization than the Moon. For example, a carefully positioned planet with a specific mass and distance could lock Earth's tilt even more effectively than our Moon does now. However, this perfect scenario is improbable given the unpredictable nature of planetary interactions. Our seasons are already extreme in some regions. What if they became unbearable worldwide? Axial instability would create chaotic weather patterns, with superstorms, prolonged droughts, and unseasonal freezes wreaking havoc on the planet. Life as we know it thrives on the predictability of Earth's axis, and replacing the Moon with any planet would disrupt this delicate balance. The Moon's quiet influence is what keeps our planet's tilt and our climate in check. By tampering with this stabilizing force, we'd be inviting a world of extremes. So as we conclude our thought experiment, it's time to reflect on what this cosmic swap reveals about the importance of the Moon and the fragile harmony of Earth's environment. The Moon has been more than just a physical presence. It's a cultural anchor, woven into our myths, art, and sense of identity. From ancient tales of moon gods to the iconic moment when humanity first set foot on its surface, the Moon has shaped who we are. But what happens when it's gone, replaced by a new celestial body? Would humanity rise to the challenge or crumble under the weight of cosmic upheaval? Imagine the immediate impact of looking up at a sky dominated by Mars, Venus, or Neptune. For some, this change might inspire awe and wonder, fueling a renewed interest in space exploration. Artists, writers, and scientists might draw from this new sky as a wellspring of creativity. New myths and stories would emerge, giving cultural significance to the red planet or the swirling storms of Neptune. But for others, the sight of a massive alien world hanging overhead could evoke fear, a constant reminder of the fragility of life on Earth. The practical challenges would be even greater. Infrastructure worldwide would strain under the effects of tidal surges, climate shifts, and tectonic activity. Coastal cities, already vulnerable to rising seas, would face even greater threats from extreme tides or flooding. Engineers would need to design buildings, dams, and levees to withstand forces far beyond what the moon ever imposed. Power grids, transportation networks, and food supply chains would need to adapt to a world where seasons are unpredictable and storms are more frequent and severe. But history shows that humanity is nothing if not resilient. Faced with these challenges, we would likely develop new technologies to monitor and mitigate the changes wrought by our new celestial neighbor. Space agencies might accelerate missions to study Mars, Venus, or Neptune up close, hoping to unlock the secrets of these worlds now so intimately tied to Earth. In doing so, we might even learn how to preserve or restore Earth's delicate balance. On a more personal level, the disappearance of the moon would be deeply emotional. For centuries, it has been a symbol of constancy in a changing world. Its phases have guided calendars, inspired poetry, and lit countless night skies. The loss of such a familiar presence would leave a void, one that even the most magnificent planet could not entirely fill. Yet, amidst the chaos and loss, humanity's creativity and determination would shine. We would adapt, innovate, and find ways to thrive under a new sky. Perhaps we would come to see Mars as a symbol of resilience, Venus as a cautionary tale, or Neptune as a call to explore the universe. In this new chapter of Earth's story, humanity's greatest strength, our ability to dream and persevere, would take center stage. As we reflect on this cosmic thought experiment, it becomes clear that the moon's quiet presence is irreplaceable. But it also reminds us that, no matter the challenges, humanity has always found a way to adapt, survive, and even flourish in the face of the unknown. The moon has always been a quiet guardian, subtly shaping the rhythms of life on Earth. Its gravitational pull stabilizes our planet's tilt, drives the tides that sustain marine ecosystems, and moderates the rotation that gives us predictable days and nights. But as we've explored what life might look like with another celestial body in its place, one thing has become clear. The moon's role is irreplaceable. Without it, Earth as we know it might not remain habitable in the long term. Mars, Venus, or Neptune might bring breathtaking sights to the sky, but their gravitational forces would throw our planet into chaos. Tides could overwhelm coastlines or disappear entirely, disrupting the delicate balance of ocean life. Earth's axis might wobble wildly, sending seasons into unpredictable extremes. Our infrastructure, already tested by climate change and natural disasters, would struggle to keep pace with the upheaval. In such a world, survival would depend on humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and capacity to adapt. Yet this thought experiment isn't just about the moon or the planets. It's a lesson in balance, how even the smallest celestial forces play a crucial role in maintaining Earth's delicate stability. It's a reminder of how fragile and interconnected our planet truly is. Could such a cosmic swap ever be reversed? The answer, for now, is a mystery. But it forces us to consider our place in the cosmos and how much we rely on the intricate choreography of the solar system.